Okay, ladies and gentlemen, back here on the social stage in partnership with Phoenix Salon Suites, which are right there in the far corner. Hosted by our creative head editorial director, Amanda Nottage, Efi Davies, Nick Irwin, Sally Brooks, and Errol Douglas, MBE. They'll all be revealing what it really takes to stay at the top and be on this A-list. Amanda, over to you.
He's just gone over my entire intro.
Wow.
Well done, lovely. Thank you, Alex. Right, guys. So yeah, we are digging deep today. So I want to know what you guys go through to stay at the top, but also just to keep going creatively. Because you've got pressures on you to deliver.
Thanks.
Well, yeah, I mean, I was actually looking directly at Sally, so I know there's something she's working on. But yeah, the pressure's there. So just to start us off with, does inspiration strike you as easily now as it did when you were just starting out? I'd love to know if you've got certain sources, processes that help you craft those artistic ideas and those narratives. And I will work my way down the line, so Efi.
I think.
Start me off.
I have to say, it's very different how it used to be to how it is now. So when you kind of like first start as well, inspiration used to come very spontaneous and used to come up with an idea and it was great. And now it's got more of a narrative basically. You really think into it, you really storyboard, you just kind of like look around when it comes to it. There is a lot of thought process and that comes with experience, which is very important. And when it comes to inspiration, obviously I'm sure you all agree there's such pressure when it comes to like placing something new and exciting, but we have constant inspiration around us and we really need to structure it. So I feel like we have to make sure that we do have time to allow the time basically for the creativity to come into the mind, because we do get quite busy and we kind of like stop, if that makes sense. So yeah.
Absolutely makes sense. Nick, I'm coming to you next, and I don't know if you guys saw it last night, but the show that he opened HairCon with was Schwarzkopf Professional. Absolutely breathtaking.
Oh, bless you, Amanda. That means a lot. Thank you.
So, when it comes to you thinking, right, I've got this show, I've got this slot, how can the cogs start turning? Where to go?
I mean, again, what Efi's saying resonates. I think it has changed a lot over the years. I think it depends where you're at in your where you're at in your headspace throughout your career, because you change as you adapt, as you move through different parts of your life. My thing, and again, I can maybe relate it to last night. My thing with something like that show is, for me, and I was just talking to Errol about it, is the research that goes behind it. Like, it's so profound, it's so deep, where you have to go to get to a place to really understand the narrative, the storytelling, the history, where all of that stuff comes from. And actually sometimes the hair, for me, is the last thing I'm thinking about. I'm thinking about all of the other stuff. Then the hair will start to come. Then it naturally will fall into place. I've never been that, I'm a fan of so many incredible creatives, but I'm not that person that can lay in the bath and think, I've got a great idea. It just doesn't happen for me. It's all right, and I wish I could be like that. My thing is, my wife's here, she'll tell you, is the obsession. I'm obsessed with research. And it's 24/7. I don't watch soaps, I'm in it all the time, and I think that obsession and the sort of deep research is what gets me maybe to the place what maybe you saw last night. That's probably my angle on it.
I feel for you, Stacey, sorry.
I know, bless her, I know. She's here somewhere.
Sally, over to you.
I'm probably a little bit the same as both, but a little bit the same as Nick. I think I'm constantly researching. I don't think if I get given a job that I come up with an idea. The idea's already there.
Yes.
I just need to find it. But I can get that from, when you say I don't watch soaps, I actually watch things, but I watch things that really inspire me, and I listen to people that really inspire me. So
I think I'm constantly absorbing information.
Can I ask you for a couple of examples, potentially?
I was watching a ballet documentary, and I kind of think of Pablo Paluski. It's fucking amazing. Sorry, excuse me.
I've seen that. It is really
But I was watching this
£10 fine,
documentary.
Sally, £10 fine.
I was watching this documentary, for example, I flicked it on and I was watching a documentary about this ballet dancer, and it was the story of this ballet dancer, of how he was the first person ever to be, the youngest person ever to dance at the Royal Ballet, and he performed every single dance. So when they asked him to perform it again, he was trying to always put his own angle on it. It's amazing. He was only trying to put his own angle on it. And he walked away from the Royal Ballet, and it was a really interesting, the whole documentary was amazing, but that's where I drag inspiration from. He walked away from the Royal Ballet because he performed the same thing so many times, and he didn't want to perform it again. He wanted to find his own angle, and he wanted to row his own boat. That's very me. I like to row my own boat. So somebody says you're doing a show, I don't suddenly go, oh my God, what am I going to do? I've got 20,000 ideas brewing. I then go back to the deep research, and I really find something that really starts to connect with me, which once it connects with me, I know it's going to connect with the audience. Yeah. And it's finding them tiny details. It's not generic. It's never a generic process for me. I don't find inspiration from watching Instagram things. I don't find that. I find it from I find it from this. But this inspires me. This I could put a show on tomorrow with these 4 people, and it would be amazing because of this conversation. So that's where I drag out. So somebody said tomorrow you've got to do a photo shoot. It's like I don't go, oh my God, what's my idea? I go, right, I've got 20 things brewing. I've seen this documentary, I've watched that, I've seen that image, I've had this conversation. It's there. I just need to find it. So then I have to do what Vic does, is really deep research. Deep research. And that's, I'm obsessed.
Yeah.
I'm obsessed.
Which I think we all are.
Yeah.
I'm just about to say, does that resonate with you, Errol? Is it that when you get to this level and you've got these creative pressures on you, if we were to do a straw poll, is it that, are you all obsessives?
Yes.
Are you all your own worst critics?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally.
Tell us your process,
I
Errol.
think when that creative process comes in, it's really important because for me, I see my life in my hairdressing as storytelling. Okay, I'm always telling a story on different levels, and I draw my inspiration from being original. So obviously, you know, if you do a collection, it's great if people love it and it's on the mood board, but at the same time, and this comes up all the time, and we have it in life. There's people who are followers and there's people who are just there, and you know, but I would like to say, because we have these conversations all the time, I'm a leader in that way, and leaders always have to come up with fresh things all the time. You pull off your team, you pull off the people around you, but ultimately, I'm always looking for something new. I'm not a stagnant person. I don't stagnate. Maybe now again. But I'm always looking to be original, and I'm always looking to be fresh. And that could be, and again, I do agree with that. That could be the last minute of hair because I'm obsessive with the whole creative thing.
I think probably the common factor is people that do what we do, we're curious people. We're curious about everything. We're curious about a conversation. We're curious about a piece of grass. We're actually just curious.
Yeah.
We're curious of what is said, aren't we? We're just we're curious about culture. We're
Absolutely.
just curious people. Yeah. So it kind of builds.
And I think as well,
Not hard to live with.
so I'm divorced.
Me too. Hard to live with.
But at the same time, and I think this is the sponge element of hairdressing, because this is a great event to come to, and everybody says, oh my God, how did you get there? It's the most, never ask that question. It's the most impossible question to answer, how did you get there? It's a working process, I'm still working, I'm still getting there. But at the same time, I can understand what people are saying, that that foundational thing is you're forever moving and you're forever, you know, it's quite interesting. I'm doing a show later on, 5 o'clock, come and watch it.
5 o'clock on the main stage, everybody. 5 o'clock on the main stage. Errol, hush lady.
I've got 2 people who have been bombarding me. So I've said, come along. Yeah. And the only reason
To assist.
Yeah, to assist. Yeah. The only reason is these people live here. So I don't have to drag my team. I'm working with people, Mancunians, here.
So you're mentoring.
Yes.
Can I tell you one amazing thing? Because I'm an observation person. I'm a real body language person. I love people. I love watching people. There was this most amazing thing watching the shows last night. You know, it started when Nick's show came on. There was a young girl that works for Trevor Sorgers in the audience with a notebook. I couldn't take my eyes off her.
Amazing.
She wrote notes on every single person that came on stage.
She was cracking out.
Documenting.
My reporter this
OBE.
weekend.
Yeah, exactly.
But
But
this,
isn't that wonderful? That's
Yeah.
so analog. That's
but it's so old school.
Yeah.
Like, you know, there's probably lots of us sitting around here that have a notebook that we scribble things in. And to watch somebody quite young that's going to come into this industry actually sit in an audience and take notes was old school. How we would have been. Does that make sense? We wouldn't have been out the back having a drink. We would have been there, observing it. Whether you like it or not, you're obsessed with the observation of did that work? Did that not work? Why didn't that work? Let me analyse that.
Critiquing is really important. It's something I learned years ago. Efi will tell you it's very much a Tony and I thing that you would always look at everything that you do, but you also critique it in a way that how can you move it forward and alter it and change, and that helps you progress things as well, which I think is linked to what we're talking about.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Sorry, my love. I was just about to ask. You're all obsessives. You've got 20,000 ideas perking away inside the Sally Brooks body 24/7. So does that mean none of you have ever suffered from the equivalent for me, writer's block? Do you
Yes.
get all
How can you say
sounded
that?
superhuman then.
No, all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, Becky. And I think that comes into everybody's lives because we have staff. So for me, that word keeps on coming up. A lot of people get imposter syndrome, you know, and I get it all the time. But at the end of the day, that's good for me because I'm always pulling myself up. But at the end of the day, I don't know it all. And I've said this so many times. I build my life on, I don't have luck. I make my own luck. I make everything happen for me and the people around me. There's very fortunate people where everything happens for them, but it doesn't in my case. So that is a mindset, and you have to get rid of that mindset. And that's the same thing in the morning when you get up. You can either get up or turn the other way, okay, or call in sick.
Yeah.
God's sake. But at the end of the day, you know what I mean. It's the resilient people, it's the people that keep on going forward and will not accept, you know, I go on about it all the time. I like to say, and I talk, you know, to my friends, it's just being positive. You've got to be out there. And at the end of the day, we help a lot of people. You have to have like a big arm, a big arm.
Absolutely. Effie, you were about to say something.
No, I mean, to be honest, guys, and I'm sure that everybody agrees in this room, and you guys, like, when it comes to being a creative, I mean, as artistic kind of like hairdressers, we always have this artistic block, full stop. It's a part of the process, it's a part of our minds, and me personally, I tend to embrace it, I tend to recognize it. I think it's very important. And sometimes when you keep yourself very, very busy, because repetition is kind of the enemy as well, we need to allow time. We need to allow time to breathe, change our environment a little bit, go to a gig, go out, just do something, snap out of it. It's completely normal, it's completely natural. As soon as we recognize it, and then you just kind of like move. For me, when I get a block like this, and I do get them often, and I can always do better, oh my god, and I can always see the next step, and I can make something much better. And I am my worst kind of like critic. Nothing wrong with that, because that gives me kind of like a little bit more of a push, not to repeat myself. But surrounding yourself with other creatives from any other industry is very, very healthy, because we do tend to bounce out of each other. And like that, you change your creative process, you actually learn from others, and I really embrace that, like everybody in your environment, for sure.
I think if you want to get into the creative thing, I think it's really important. What Efi's just said is it's called a creative bounce. We have to be around people that we can bounce from.
Absolutely.
I'm going to give you an example. There is nothing worse than when I have a creative brainstorm with somebody, and you show something to somebody, and somebody says, "That's nice."
Is that the worst word you can hear?
No, it shuts down the creative process. The creative process doesn't grow, it stops. So the bounce is when somebody says, "Oh my god, I love that." Even the tone's different. I love that. Have you thought of?
Yeah.
bam, 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 bam. If somebody goes, that's nice, I'm like, check out. I've checked out from talking to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah. I think you mustn't panic though when this thing happens. And also I'm a great believer, if you haven't got anything to say, don't say anything. Like my work, it's true, and I think especially the world we live in now with social media, the pressure is on all the time to constantly keep feeding the engine. But it's absolutely right. It's so important to sometimes just stand back from everything and observe and take a little break. I know it's easily said than done when you're trying to, and it's your business, and you've got to keep your foot on the gas and try and keep the creative equity in the world, all of that stuff. But yeah, I think just let it happen, and something always comes. It always happens. It's a timing thing as well. I said to Mark just before, we're talking about the timing of those things coming together to do a show like last night. If I'd have tried to do it 6 months ago, it wasn't the right time. I think that's an important element of what you said. Very important.
Now, I'm really curious about. I've just had the 2-minute warning, by the way.
Wow.
To say, I know we have absolutely whizzed through our time. I keep hearing about this existential angst around AI.
Oh. Don't even
But then I see other creatives absolutely embracing its potential. So I'd love to know from each of you for our final question, how do you view AI in terms of the creative possibilities? Is it a worry or is it a potential support, help? Errol, you go with it. Okay, there's a hand up there.
Okay, AI is amazing where it sits and where it should be. It could be an avant-garde, it can be anything where you've got that knowledge to do it, but where it sits as in fundamentals as a hairdresser or a hairdressing competition, for me, it shouldn't be there. That's all. And you shouldn't be enhanced by photographers, you shouldn't be enhanced by anything. It should be just hairdressing. That's why certain competitions should say hair and mean hair. That's all.
Thank you for that, Errol.
I think it's a wonderful tool if it's used correctly. It's that simple. I think it's like anything in life. It's very easy to just flip it and go and be negative about it. And I think, there is a lot of damage being done. But people it will never replace the human contact of what we do. It's just never going to happen. Trust me, I really believe that. I'm a glass half full person. I'm onto that stuff. It's really important. I'm having this conversation a lot, especially in the world I'm in the session world, because it's being used heavily across all the different areas. I think you embrace it, but I think and not be overly nervous about it. I think it's.
Okay, and I'm going to squeeze one more question, Lewis. Hope you're not going to kill me. But I would love from each of you one piece of advice you would have for anyone in the audience today to help them keep those juices flowing, to keep their creative brain sharp. A quick piece of advice. I'll start with you, Errol, and work through it.
Ooh, that's a hard one. All I would say is don't cut corners. Do your research. Make sure you know what you're doing because you can't go backwards.
Love that, Sally.
Surround yourself with like-minded people.
Love that, Errol.
Okay.
Not back to you.
Yeah, just stay hungry. Stay hungry all the time for it, and
And keep reading Hunger.
and keep reading. So no one remembers the night we did the thing together. That's right. Well done.
What I would say basically is that for the future hairdressers, kind of like in the industry, their energy, their creativity is what feeds this industry. And my advice would be just stay true to yourself because of the pressure nowadays, but you have to fit in all the algorithm yourself. Do not lose yourself. Keep practicing, keep doing what you love, and be a sponge. Absorb from everybody, keep what you like, throw away what you don't like.
Can I just say one more? Sometimes if you're like scared to get out of your comfort zone, just turn left instead of right.
There you go.
Yeah, just come out the door and turn left instead of right.
Exactly.
See where it takes you.
There you go. Full advice.
Can I please ask you to say a huge thank you, Errol Douglas, Sally Brooks, Nick Irwin, and Efi Davies. Thank you so much.